FlossTube, it's Lorna the Ladybird Stitcher. Today is Friday the 31st of July 2020 and I'm back for a July update. Hope everyone's been well and had a good month. We've been doing okay. We're back in trying to kind of not go out unless absolutely necessary. We're probably starting a second wave of the pandemic in New South Wales. Victoria's had it for a couple of weeks now and it looks like it's come up here as well. So we're just trying to stay in unless we absolutely have to go out. So that's where we are at the moment. I hope everyone's doing well and stitching lots, and that's what I'm trying to do to keep my mind off things. Once again, it hasn't been a good reading month. I'm just not able to focus on a book at the moment. But let's get into stitching. First of all, I said that I was going to do the bingo for full coverage fanatics, which I did, but there was a slight change of plans. I mentioned that I was going to work on this one, which I call Mediterranean Avenue, and it's by that company, and it's item number 76436 and 76437. I tried to work on it, but I didn't have much luck. This is where it is, and that's where it was, really. I didn't do anything on it other than pull out a piece of thread and stick that in, and that's kind of where it stopped. This, as you can see, really close to the top, and to work on it, I don't like working in hand. I find that my hands cramp up. I need to have a frame, some sort of frame holding up my project. So this being so close to the edge wasn't working on a Q-snap. So I will need to either sew something to the top or make a decision about whether I want to complete this project. So that was going to be my cat piece, because there's a cat there. That was the only... Oh, and the other thing is, it wasn't actually full coverage. When I put out the chart, I realised that there are a few little places that aren't actually stitched. So it's quite hard to see on the front sheet, but it became apparent when I looked at the pattern. So that wasn't going to work anyway, but like I said, it's not really in a position where I can work on it anyway, even if I decide to keep it. At the moment, it's iffy. So instead of that one, I worked on Mini Cinderella on the stairs for the cat, dog or cat category. But I also worked on Mini Cinderella on the stairs for trees. So I will show you that in a minute. It's in a pile, very strategically placed so they don't all tumble to the floor. When we get to it, I'll show it to you. So the first one on the pile, in no particular order, is Storykeep Belle by Heaven and Earth Designs. And here's what it will look like when it's finished. And here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here it is now. Not much to see. It's just all blue and dark grey. So not very exciting, but I did put in 1,000 stitches on this one, I think. No, this was the one I used for, this was another penalty one. I think it was from Mermaid, which I don't have a full coverage piece for that. And I put in 2,000 stitches. 2,275 actually. So that was a penalty piece for the bingo. And that's 25 count, 1/1 full crosses. And I originally said that I was going to work on that one for the 80 colours or more category, and I decided that it needed more work than Juliet, so I swapped it with Juliet. Now Juliet I used for the 80 colours or more category, and I put in 1,288 stitches on this one, and here's what it will look like when it's finished. And here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here it is now. So working on the last page of this row, and you can see I've stuck on another, or sewn on another piece of fabric, and that's just to help with holding this in the key snap. And it does help, and it keeps the tension, so it's good. And this is also on 25 count 1/1 Lugana, and I'm just working on that section there. And I'm hoping to finish this piece, which is page 10. Hoping to finish this page. I won't finish this piece for a while, but I'm hoping to finish that soon. And that was my goal for the year. I don't know if I'm going to stop there or keep going, but we'll see how we go. I did get a piece of haul, which I will show you at the end. And one of the items that came smells really nice, and everything that's kind of been sitting with it, waiting for this video to show you, is also smelling really nice. So everything I have here is just letting off a beautiful smell. So anyway, we'll get to that later. One of the other pieces I worked on was Pinocchio. It's actually called Pinocchio Wishes Upon a Star. This is out of print. It was from the Disney Dreams collection by MCG, Textiles. And I think I stopped working on it because the Aida it's on is really, really stiff. It's 18 count Aida, but this Aida can honestly stand up on its own. And what I was finding when I went back to working on it was that just pushing the needle through, because it is so hard it is such a hard piece of fabric, like this it can almost stand up on its own. It's really, really stiff. And pushing the needle through was actually giving me some sort of callus or blister or something on my finger. So I found like a silicone thimble, which I was using to work on this. But I did manage to put in 1,000 stitches, and here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here it is now. So yeah, I can't say I was enjoying working on this, but now that I've found a way around the problem I was having, I guess I might try to maybe soak it. I don't know whether the thread that they gave me is gonna run or not. I don't know. I really can't find anything on the instructions that says whether it will or not. So I'll see how we go, but I think it's worth. I really like the actual picture, so I wouldn't mind finishing this or working on it more, but I do need to do something about this fabric. So we'll see how we go. But that's Pinocchio Wishes Upon a Star by MCG Textiles, and it's a Thomas Kincaid, original artworks by Thomas Kincaid. So hopefully that'll come out again at some stage. The last piece of the full coverage Fanatics bingo was Cinderella on the Stairs, which I worked on for the two categories. One was trees and the other one was a penalty for dogs and cats. And I managed a total of 3,170 stitches on this one. And here's what it will look like when it's finished. And here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here it is now. And you're probably saying it doesn't look like I've done that much, and that's basically, this was a bit of a nightmare actually. All of this, I don't know if you can see it, but it's all stitched. It's all white on white. Really hard to see, not only now, but also while I'm stitching on it. So, yeah. But it's getting there, and I've had a look at this piece, and really there isn't that much to it. There is one other row, so like this again, and then the bottom row is partial pages. So maybe I should try and focus on this. It won't be finished this year, probably not even next year, but I should try and work on a little bit more. But I think my strategy is going to be to work on the white, get as much of that out of the way as possible, so that I will want to work on it next time it comes out. Because at the moment it's just, oh, I don't want to stitch all that white again. That's how I feel when I look at it. So I do want to kind of get that out of the way so that I can cross that hurdle, jump that hurdle, and get on with it, and hopefully finish it at some stage. So that was Full Coverage Fanatics Bingo. That one is my only full coverage piece that isn't Pinocchio. That is on 18 count Ada, and that is 2/1 full cross. And the reason I started it like that, I can't remember, but I think it was probably just because I had an 18 count, piece of 18 count that was big enough. I think that's simply the reason. July is also Joan Elliott July, and I pulled out Ladybird Fairy by Joan Elliott, and that's what it will look like when it's finished. And here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here it is now. So I spent about a week on this one, and I basically finished her bodice there. I also put in a few of these ladybirds, started on the skirt. And I finished the wrap or whatever that is, shawl of some sort. So this is on Colour Cascades 28 count Lugana in opal, and the colour is actually called Jaded, and it's actually a lot brighter than it's showing up on the screen. The screen's showing it as more muted than it is. It's a vibrant green, vibrant teal, not really green. It's quite teal. So it's beautiful fabric. And that's where that is. So I had forgotten about that last month, and that's why I didn't mention it in my plans. But I did put aside a week to work on that one. Next was also Jolly July and Christmas in July, and a whole lot of other events in July that related to Christmas. So I pulled out Santa's Village, which I did want to work on this month anyway. And here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here's where it is with the 10th block now done, and that's Gingerbread Emporium. I actually made a couple of changes to this one. You can probably see the obvious pattern here, which is this will continue all the way to the end, this red and white stripe, and there'll be another two of this motif, and that will go to the end as well. And the red in that carries all the way through. It's numbered DMC 321, Christmas red. And I have a little bit left on my last skein for this piece. But this door was also supposed to be in red, as well as these hearts and these Christmas ornaments. So I changed. I just want to leave the little bit that I have remaining for the rest of this in case there's a dye lot issue. So I changed this to ribbon red. I also found that this dark green, it's supposed to be, it's charted as Baby Spinach by Gast or General Art Sampler thread. And I changed it to Weeks Dye Works Moss, which is used in another piece, probably up here. I didn't have Baby Spinach. I thought I had kitted this up and got everything that I needed for it, but I didn't have that colour, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to finish it with what I have. So I've finished block 10, and there's only 2 blocks to go, and I'm seriously thinking I'm just going to work on it twice in August and get it done, because I just want this out of the way now. So we'll see how we go, but it's getting there, and hopefully it'll be finished soon. This is on a mushroom Lugana, and I think it's a 32 count fabric. And last but not least is my favorite piece currently, and that is Long Dog Samplers Day and Night. And this has kind of become a piece that I work on at least once a month, but I also would really like to finish this one by the end of the year. Anyway, here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here's where it is now. It's on a piece of 20 count Lugana. The colorway is Ivory. I just got this from 123 Stitch some time ago. And there's where it is at the moment. I'm working on this one. I was working on this one before I started filming, actually. Really enjoying it. And I'm kind of thinking I might be able to finish it this year. And Nadine and I from Nad's X Stitch, we're planning to start Templar's Prophecy next year, beginning of next year, and that is also a Long Dog Sampler. And I don't want to be in a position where I'm working on too many Long Dog Samplers at the same time, because I also want to start Cardinal Points at some stage next year. So I really want to finish this one before I get onto Templar Prophecy. So I wouldn't mind finishing this before the end of the year. If I don't, that's okay. I'll just work on it next year simultaneously with Templar Prophecy, but I don't want to have too much left on it. So I'm trying to get through this one. They are very different. Templar Prophecy is monochrome, and this one, as you can see, is very colourful and has lots and lots of different colour changes. But I'm just in a position now where I've got 7 Mirabilias on the go, and I really want to cut down on that. And I don't want to be in I've got 2 Heaven and Earth designs, 1 Tilton Crafts, and I kind of lump those in the same category because they're full coverage. And I'm just kind of feeling a little bit like I've got too much on. So I don't want to have too many Long Dog Samplers on the go as well, because that's just going to add to that. So yeah, it'll be nice to finish this one, or at least get it to the point where it's almost finished by the end of the year. So that's that there. Still really enjoying it, and I could easily probably spend a month on that, just working on it and not caring, or not kind of feeling the pull to work on something else, because that is one of my pieces. It's probably my favorite piece right now. I really enjoy that one. That's it for my whips, and now I have a little bit of haul. My favorite Etsy store, Journey of a Stitcher, was having a stock take sale. Here in Australia, our financial year ends on the 30th of June. So she was having a stock take sale, and I've had this on my wish list for a while, and it's called Sweetheart Hill by Plum Street Samplers, and this was on special. I can't remember the price, but I saw it on special and I thought I may as well just get it now. And that just says I belong with you. I don't know if I'm going to stitch the words. I might just leave that off and just stitch the picture. I also finally got this. It's by the Blue Flower. It's called Night Walk Down. So many people are stitching this, and I finally caved in and bought it because this was also on special, and I really like watching it come to life when other people are stitching it, and I couldn't resist anymore. I really like this concept, and it says night walk down the sky with the moon in her hand. So that's also one for the pile. Sorry about that, I just had to find the last piece. And this is the piece that smells nice. The last piece of haul that I got, Silks for You from Australia. They dye silk, just like their name suggests. My first contact with them was at the Mittagong retreat last November. They had a stand at that retreat, and I purchased a couple of hanks. Yes, two hanks. And they mentioned on their Facebook page that they were having a, I'll link the Facebook page below, but they mentioned that they were having a, or they've got grab bags, what they call grab bags. And what these are small skeins of silk. So it's not quite a hank, obviously, but I'm not sure how long these are, but you get a substantial amount of silk. It's probably enough to do maybe a small project with. I probably wouldn't do a whole monochromatic piece with this amount of thread, but they're beautiful. They're silk, and they're in various different colorways, and you get 10 skeins in a pack, and it's $25 Australian dollars. So that was the first one. Beautiful purple. This one. That's probably one of my favorites. It's like a purple, pink and red in it. It's beautiful. Beautiful green. This is probably the most one of the most variegated. It's got browns and pinks. It's really nice, and greys. This is like a purplish brown. Kind of an ecru beige kind of colour. Purple. This is a kind of charcoal. And last but not least is probably the most variegated, and it's got blues and greens and pinks and oranges, yellows. So there's a bit of everything in that one. So yeah, they are going in my stash to work on at some point, work with at some point. So that was my haul. Like I said, I didn't really read much during the month. I'm just not able to concentrate on books at the moment. So that's just up in the air. But yeah, like I said, it looks like we might be heading for another lockdown. We don't know. We're hoping it doesn't come to that, but as in my family, is staying in unless we absolutely have to go out. My husband still has to go to work, and my daughter is going to school, and I'm limiting my movements to picking up my daughter from school and dropping her off and going to the grocery store. So yeah, we're not going out to dinners anymore or anything like that. So hopefully it won't come to another lockdown, but it certainly looks like it's heading that way. But anyway, I hope everyone stays well. I'm hoping to see you again at the end of August. And have a good month, and hopefully the world won't change again too much by the time I see you again. Bye everyone, and take care.